Variables and Expressions, page 20. A numerical expression contains only numbers and operation symbols. However, an algebraic expression contains at least one variable. It may also contain numbers and operation symbols. Okay? So if we had a regular numerical expression, an example of a numerical expression would be 2 plus 3. Or you could even say 2 plus 3 equals 5. Okay? It's an expression made up of entirely numbers. Well, numbers and an operation, sometimes more than one, but numerical for the most part. Algebraic expressions are expressions that contain a variable, at least a variable. If we had even just the expression a minus 5, it would be considered an algebraic expression. Now, this here, this letter A, is also known as a variable. What is a variable? How would you define what a variable is? Brianna? A letter and a problem. Kayla? A letter that takes the place of a number, or of a value. Okay? And we call it a variable because it can be any letter, and that letter can stand for any value. A doesn't always equal 1 because it's the first letter of the alphabet. A can equal any number that's possible, depending on the expression that we use it in. Okay? So when we have expressions, variable expressions, sometimes you will be asked to make your own. And if you're asked to make your own, we have to be prepared how to do that. For example, if I said to you, give me just a numerical expression that means the same as 8 increased by 20. Okay, that's what it looks like in words. How can I put it into a numerical expression? Like I had a numerical expression before that said 2 plus 3. Yeah. 8 plus 20. Did I have to put the answer for this one based on what they asked us to put? If it said is 28 afterwards, then I would put equals 28. But if it's just 8 increased by 20, that's all I need to put. Okay. How about 7 less than 100? Seven less than 100. What would that numerical expression look like? Tyler? If we take a closer look, what would this be as a final answer? If I went through and I did the work here, what would this be? It would be negative 93. Is negative 93 just 7 less than 100? No. Something needs to get fixed. Tyler, you want to rephrase that? How about 100 minus 7? 7 less than 100. 100 is what we'll start with. To show 7 less than that, we'll take away 7. That would be 93. 93 is 7 less than 100. Now, order is going to matter, even on problems where you add. You say, wait a minute. I thought you can add in any order. Well, you can. But it's important that if we're writing our own expressions, that you get in the habit of putting them in the order that they should come in, because when I do subtraction expressions, I have to have them in the right order. We just found that out. 7 minus 100 is vastly different than 100 minus 7. They're not the same answer, are they? So we have to be careful what order we put them in. And if we're not sure, work through it like we did with the 7 minus 100 and see if that makes sense. Is that really 7 less than 100? Look at number 10 on page 21. This looks like it has multiple operations. See if you can't give that one a shot. It says 15 more than 60 decreased by 25. "15 more than 60 decreased by 25. Well, more than is going to mean what operation? Addition. Decreased is going to mean what operation? Right. So I'm going to have an addition and a subtraction sign in this expression. Now, how am I going to show 15 more than 60? If 7 less than 100, if 7 less than 100 looked like this, 7 less than the 100, what's more than going to look like? Fred? Well, you're combining things, it looks like. No, not that order. Here's what you had. Okay, the first part. Does that look like 15 more than 60? Or does that look like 60 more than 15?
15 more than 60. 60 more than
This looks like 60 more than 15. So 15 more than 60 is going to be what? 60 decreased by 25. Kayla? There it is. That's what it looks like. Okay? That's what it looks like. I don't care that the final answer is 50. Okay? I want to know, what does it look like? What's the expression look like? And that's algebra. In fact, the algebra students right now are doing something for a test tomorrow that's like exactly the same as this. They're taking the expression in words and putting it into that. Okay? And they've had 2 full years of this before you guys just starting this today. So you're not going to be like experts on it on your first one. So just give yourself a break and just understand and be open to. If you're frustrated and you're mad and you're slamming your book around and throwing your pencil, you're not allowing like your brain to process this information. Okay? If your teacher is in front of you telling you, listen, it's going to take some time for you to get this, then give yourself a little bit of time. I just told you before, it's like learning a brand new language. Okay? You couldn't read a book written in Spanish if you spent 1 day in Spanish class. Right? So just give yourself some time to digest it and don't get frustrated. If you're frustrated, that takes you off your game. Now, look at number 11. That being said, it's like a puzzle you're trying to piece together. 12 less than 30 increased by 10.37. If you've been paying attention, okay, you should have a decent shot at this because this is very similar to the other ones that we've been doing. Okay, we've had a less than. In fact, you know, we had a 7 less than 100. We followed that same pattern. If decreased means subtraction and increased will probably not mean the same. 12 less than 30 is going to look like what? Yeah. And then increased by 10.37, it's going to be adding that together. Okay? Well, if I just told you that the algebra class has been working, you know, like 2 years on this, 2 problems isn't going to make you an expert. Right? Just be open to the fact that it's not going to be impossible. But it's good that you've got some confidence with it. That'll help. Homework side. Homework side.